Hello, buddy. Welcome back. I'm the Stratch Professor, and today we're going to be looking at a coaching session for Sona. There we go. So special thanks to Josephine for the donation. As always, I really appreciate it. Anyone else out there that would like to get a coaching session, you can email me at thestratchprofessor@gmail.com. I'm happy to set that up for you.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Turn up my volume here. This is patch 9.11. I'm not sure of the ranking bracket, but it is patch 9.11. Okay, so if you'd like a coaching session, email me at thestratchprofessor@gmail.com. Let me know what you have in mind. It's just $25. I can either do it on stream or off stream. If you become a channel member, then it's just $20, and channel membership is $5. YouTube added a join button. You can just click the join on there. You can also still join via PayPal if you prefer that. I do keep a larger portion of the money from PayPal. I get $4.50 out of the $5. On YouTube, I believe I get like $3 or $3.50, which is still good. But now that they added that join button, a lot of people are using that that way to support the channel just because it's easier. It's just a couple of clicks of a button. So anyways, let's go ahead and get in here. And if you do want to watch more coaching sessions, I will have a link in the description to a playlist. I think this is going to be like the 183rd coaching session on the channel. So just tons and tons, always adding more. So even if you don't quite have the don't quite wish to contribute the funds as of yet to the channel, you get your own coaching session. You can still learn for free from other people that have received the coaching. And if you do get a coaching session, you'll always have access to the coaching that you did in that playlist. So if you want to go back and check it out in a month or two, if you take a break or something eventually and you want to get back into it, you can always come back and check it out. Okay. So first up, I would say, you definitely want to take Ignite against Soraka. They do have some late game threats where you might want Exhaust, but it's nothing like a Zed or a Talon that's like unavoidable damage. Like, you should be able to play around some of these other champs, so I would definitely take Ignite here. See if you can get some autos in. Notice this Sona is playing, or the Soraka rather, is playing really far back, so she's not really looking to walk up and auto attack you or trade with you. So just try to, there you go, land those autos every time your Q is up. Go ahead and land some more autos in there. Yeah, just keep trading with him. This Soraka's really scared. You gotta pick up on that and just say, hey, I'm gonna, every time this Callista goes up to try to auto attack, last hit a minion, I'm gonna hit her. If possible. This Soraka just really doesn't want to fight. Now keep in mind her summoners as well. She has Ignite plus heal. So you should have noticed that ideally and notified your jungler of that and just said, hey, look, this person doesn't even have flash. So that should be a really easy gank for Kale down the line. And I think Josephine said that Kale was her boyfriend, I believe. So should make the communication a little bit better, I hope. Small joke there, but okay, they use both sums, so that means they're kind of dangerous in all ends, but they should be relatively susceptible to ganks. Now they did get a kill there, so you gotta be a little cautious of that. But Frostfang sounds good. Okay, so y'all will have a slight advantage here until they back, so try not to let them back. Alright, they're going to go ahead and back. I would actually freeze here. I don't know if your AD carry is going to follow those guidelines, but because it's pushing towards you and they backed, if you actually were to freeze the minion wave here, then they would actually lose more CS, because if you try to push it, it's not going to get all the way to their tower, and it's very likely going to end up like right here if you try to hard push. So they would have an advantage on you where they could freeze it right here and make you susceptible to their jungler. Okay, well, she was freezing for a little bit there. Okay, good. So she did end up freezing. Okay, good. Yeah, so CS-wise, you're not even really down that much, which is good, considering, you know, the 80 carry died. Yeah, and you really don't want to fight a Callista early as Vayne. Like, not all in, unless they're already pretty low. Callista potentially does quite a bit of damage early on. And you can't really run away from her. And Vayne is terrible until she gets at least a bilge water. Okay. Oh, they tried to fight. Nico's 6 and Diana's 4. That's interesting. That's getting rough. Yeah, so top lane and mid lane are having a pretty hard time of it. So let's kind of take some mental notes of that and just say, hey, you know, there's not much you can do here, like with this comp and what's going on, but like in other circumstances, you might say, you know what, I'm gonna have to take a few more risks bot lane because there you go, yeah, get that. There you go, yeah, just get as many autos as you can when they're trying to hit her. You might have to say, you know what, I'm gonna have to take a couple more risks, or I might have to invest, you know, more heavily in this Vayne or something because my other lanes are getting destroyed. Or Kale. So maybe you might consider, you know, going for an Ardent Sensor second instead of a Redemption second here. Just because you might say, hey, we need more carry, potentially need more raw power out of this Kale because the laners are failing. So I still think you should probably get Athene's first, just because that item is so strong. They might try to dive you here. Yeah. Auto attack the Soraka. Okay. So if they're trying to dive you like that, I know it's tough because you're like under tower and freaked out. But just see who the tower goes after if you can, and just make sure you get at least one auto attack on him, just so that you have a chance of getting a kill. Alright, what are we getting? Okay, working towards your Athenes or Ardent. It's good. Amp Tome's good. Amp Tome's fine. Yeah, that's probably good, I guess. I'm saying that because I'm thinking maybe Fairy Charms, like instead of boots, maybe Fairy Charms, since you still have your Flash, because it feels like you're going to need some mana in this lane. This is an attrition type of lane where it's just, you know, poking and healing constantly. Alright, so they are up a Vamp Scepter on you, which is going to give them even more healing. So I will be switching over. What are you leveling up? Your W. Okay, that's good. I was going to say, if you were leveling up your Q, if you got like 1 or 2 points in Q, I would stop there at this point and just start maxing W, because I don't think you're going to be able to poke through the lifesteal plus the Soraka healing. This is tough. Hopefully Kale comes through here. Teemo is a menace right now. Yeah, he's got Sork boots and an Amp Tome. Now, I think Volibear, once Volibear gets something like, whoa, how did you ult? Oh, that was Soraka that ulted. Volibear, you know, once he gets Spirit Visage, might be able to get on top of that. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward through a little bit of this, because it's basically like you should just be sitting here farming. And then if something like notable happens during the laning phase, we'll slow it down and replay it a little bit. Yeah, pretty much. Now, watch out for ganks. Okay. Okay, good rotation. You know, Scuttle was up. Make a play on it. Good. Now, they're coming up here, so y'all need to be careful. You're getting flanked. Looks like mid is occupied, so that's good, I guess. Not good that she died, but I guess it's good she didn't collapse and, like, ult your whole team. Oh, we are getting baited. If this Nico... Oh, my God. Nico is just like not moving. If Nico rotated down there, y'all would be in big, big trouble. Well, this game's gonna be hard. It's possible, but it's definitely getting tough out there. All right, what are we working? Okay, good. Getting Athene's nice. I didn't track theirs. I don't think they use any notable something. I guess they used a flash in there somewhere. Okay, so Volibear's basically given up on top, and he's trying to make some plays around the map. I don't suppose that's... I mean, it's 17 to 80, so, I mean, given what's going on up there, I guess that's all right. Please. Okay. Okay. Okay, double kill. All right. Vayne got one. It's not as bad if Sona gets kills as some other supports out there because she does scale extremely well, so... It's fine. Okay, help her get these plates first. Okay, we got okay, that's a lot of shutdowns. No, she's dead. Mid lane's dead. Yeah, they're back though.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Alright, what do they have? Okay, so they have Bilgewater. So one thing always when you're going back to lane, make sure that you're tabbing. You probably do this, but in case you don't sometimes, just make sure you're tabbing in and just kind of checking the items. Primarily in your lane, but then also just kind of look at the other lanes, kind of like what I've been doing, and just sort of get a feel for what's going on. Obviously, you don't want to flank other people, but you need to understand the situation. So that you don't come up and, like, Nico just one-shots you out of nowhere, and you're like, oh my god, what happened? It's like, well, you would understand what was happening if you were tabbing and looking and saying, oh, she's up 70 CS on our mid laner, and she has 5 kills. So, you know, just make sure you're doing that. Sona has a pretty kind of standardized item path. There's a little wiggle room, but you don't get a lot of resistances, so it doesn't matter as much. If you're playing like a tank type of champion, you're trying to figure out, do I want a magic resist item or an armor item, then you definitely want to see who's fed on the enemy team. But it's still helpful. Okay, so get this. Soraka doesn't have flash. Okay, y'all got her anyways. Her flash is on CD. Okay. Alright, mid's still in mid. Watch out for Shyvana jungle, though. Anytime someone starts diving or looking at stuff, like the very first thing you should look at is mid lane and top lane and see what the situation is. Particularly mid lane, but just seeing if top might teleport down on you too is important. Especially like if you're in lane and they have like a really fed, especially like a 1v9 type of champ, like a Riven or a Yasuo or something like that, top lane, Jax. You got to make sure if you're going to dive or do anything like that, that you have these bushes swept so they can't TP behind you. Or you need to get a TP check top lane. Okay. Moby's... I would probably go Mercury Treads here. You can go Moby's, but Teemo's pretty fed. He's already got a Leandry's and Sork Boots. Those mushrooms are really going to hurt, so having that extra magic resist probably help out. And then Nico, you know, if you get binded by Nico, she's going to one-shot you anyways, but you might get clipped by her ult in a team fight, maybe if she comes up invisible or something. So I just think they have so many kills. They have 10 kills on their primary magic users. Fortunately, Shyvana is going on hit instead of AP. The AP build is really brutal. But still, I think Mercury Treads are probably warranted here. Like, Mobies are okay. They're primarily just for kind of roaming around, which is good. But I think right now, like, survival is key. All right, Nico is around Rift. They're probably getting Rift. We just saw her on this ward. Okay, there she is again. So y'all should be able to maybe contest this dragon. Keep in mind, you don't have priority in 2 lanes, though. Where's Volley? Is Volley AFK? Okay. Okay, they're going to go make a play on that. Okay, so they're just giving you this for free. Even though they have full map control. Alright. Hey, macro will get you back in the game. Shyvana wasn't looking at her timers. Alright. That's rough. Come over here, see if you can help him.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Maybe just throw a W first. I don't know. You were limited on mana. Yeah, I mean, I guess Redemption's fine. I think, like I said earlier, this might be a place where you want Ardent first. Just because you really need, like, Kale and Vayne to come in strong. Because the rest of your team's failing so hard. Diana has picked up some kills, though, so she's got a little bit of threat. She's about to get her Lich Bane. So she can probably one-shot a couple of these squishies. But she wants to run it in mid. In true Diana fashion. I really hope they rework Diana. I think they're thinking of changing her a little bit. I think she's definitely one of the top 10 champs that needs a rework. I think they were messing around with the rework with her for a while, but then they chose not to. Yeah, pursue. Nico's bot. See if you can speed him up with your E whenever that's off. Yeah. Alright, Nico could be coming up here, so y'all need to watch out. They're acting like she is. Okay. Yeah, those mushrooms, man. They're brutal. That's what I was talking about. Getting those Merc treads. May have saved you there. They are a little bit more expensive than Mobies. You don't always want to get Mercury treads. It's just because, like, those Teemo shrooms, like, you're gonna get hit by the shrooms. They're just everywhere. And he's going to AP build. He's not going, like, Lay the Rune King Teemo or something, you know? He's actually going for the good build. Be careful committing too many people to bottom without vision on Baron. They just got to pick your jungler. Okay, you have 3 people killing Teemo right now. So they're just kind of wasting time middle. They could be doing Baron instead. Okay. Well, at least they're just running around getting kills. Y'all probably, most of the people on your team probably aren't even worth that much gold at this point. They're just kind of A-ramming it here. Redemption's not terrible. Redemption's still, you know, you can't really go wrong with Redemption, but like I said, having that Ardent might help a bit more. Especially because your team's rarely grouping up for 5v5s.
Blue team has slain Baron Nashor.
Yeah, there's that. Well, it took them a while to get over there, but they got it. Okay. Be careful of shrooms through here. So, like, general rule of thumb If you're worried that Teemo like has been in a jungled area, do not walk through the brush. Just walk through the normal pathways, because he almost always like puts all the shrooms in brush for the extra vision. So if you just walk through normal pathways that aren't brush, you're a lot less likely to get hit by Teemo shrooms in general.
Blue team double kill.
The slow-mo escape. Nice.
Red team's turret has
Got the
been
redemption.
been destroyed.
Excuse me. All right, Kale's on 2 items. Maybe maybe make some magic happen here. Get him, Volibear. Oh, gosh, here it goes. It's going down. Chase him all the way into the base. All right. I guess there's nothing else for them to take on the map other than start working your tier 2 bot.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Well, I guess they could just come in and kill the Nexus. Alright. Teemo trolling. They're pretty much just inting into you, so... I mean, with inhibitors down, like, it's bad. You know, a lot of times when people have inhibitors down, they lose. But if you can survive, you do get a huge gold advantage off of inhibitors being down. Because those super minions push through all of their minions. They basically don't get very much farm a lot of times whenever they have supers pushing into you. Okay, hanging on. Maybe they will continue to filter in and try to int into this. Oh, just farm it up. Can't really leave your base. No reason to leave your base. Especially because, you hate giving up an Infernal, but... I don't know, man. Like, if Teemo snuck a ward in there, I don't know if he can teleport to his own mushrooms, but it's extremely risky to leave your base. Because your Nexus is so low with no towers. Someone could just TP and maybe run in. Uh-oh. Yeah, I mean, their Callista DC'd or left or something, so... y'all don't get that announcement, though, on your side.
Red team's inhibitors respawning soon.
You do have all the inhibitors back. Guess you could maybe take a peek at Baron if you get the lanes pushed up. Teemo doesn't backdoor you. Oh. Yeah, you gotta be careful walking in the jungle by yourself this late in the game. You gotta remember, it's their jungle. Like, this isn't your jungle. People get that confused sometimes late game. If you haven't been in there in a while and you don't have towers there, it's their jungle. They probably have it all warded up and they have priority. So they could just be sitting in a random bush. Alright, well, that ward. Probably, you know, probably taking some mental notes if you notice that, like, Callista didn't show up to the last fight. You haven't seen her in a side lane. So you might start getting a little suspicious that she may not be there. They're not trying to push for your inhibitors right now. God. The Teemo. Sona going hard. Yeah, just Barrett, I think. Final item, I'd probably get... Well, they don't have much CC. I was going to say maybe a McHale's. Maybe a Redemption. Or a Locket, rather. A little bit of extra magic resist, help you out with Teemo Shrooms. Extra sort of burst mitigation from Nico. Yeah, I'd probably go Locket here. Mikhail's just for the 20% healing alone is probably still a good idea. I mean, you can cleanse a Nico root. Yeah, actually, if Nico hits a bind on somebody, they're almost certainly dead at this point. So maybe, I think of Mikhail's, so you can cleanse the Nico bind. Yeah, y'all just kind of outscaled him here, I think.
Red team quadra kill. Ace.
Okay. I got enough time to just... I think you got enough time just to end. Yeah. Full ace of Baron. Well, there's not a ton. I'm trying to think from your perspective. Okay, so early on, you definitely want to take Ignite against Soraka. And then make sure that you're communicating to your jungler that Soraka does not have Flash. Or your mid laner. Just anyone that'll listen, tell them that Soraka doesn't have Flash. That should be free kills. So Kayle should have ideally... I think you said that was your boyfriend. He should have ideally ganked bot at some point. Now, y'all don't have a great gank squad bot. Like, Sona doesn't have much CC until she gets to 6, and Vayne is notoriously not very good in the early game. So that is a thing. I think he did come down there a couple of times. He came down a couple of times. But yeah, just really trying to abuse the fact that Soraka doesn't have Flash in the laning phase a little bit more would be helpful. Y'all never really got ganked by the Shyvana and killed. It was just basically a farm off in the laning phase. So, you know, there's a couple of places where, yeah, maybe early on just being a bit more aggressive, trying to land more autos with your Qs, especially if you see the Soraka rather, said the Sorona, the Soraka Sona. If the enemy support is, just seems kind of scared and you smell blood in the water, just, you know, go for it. Like, try to just get more aggressive, try to land more of those autos, more of those Qs. Especially whenever Kallista's going for last hits on minions, she has one auto attack at that moment, right? So she can either hit you with an auto, or she can hit the minion. And so that's the best time to hit them. Now, you want to wait until the wave is thinned out a little bit, because you're going to get hit by all the minions early on. Which is why you want to try to take an armor rune if you can, when you're playing a champion like Sona that, you know, wants to auto attack the enemy a couple of times in the laning phase. But yeah, other than that, I think that was pretty solid. Boot choice we talked about earlier. I think Mercury treads, just because the top lane and the mid lane are both AP, and they both had 5 kills. And Teemo, like, you're just going to get hit by some shrooms, you know, as the game unfolds. And they can do quite a bit of damage with Leandri's, which was the first item that he rushed. Leandri's Sork Boot. So I think that that probably would have been a good idea. You know, Redemption's fine. I think maybe Ardent Sensor first, just to help the Vayne and the Kayle push through and do a bit more damage to make up for the deficits of Volibear and Diana. Might be okay, although, you know, Redemption to counteract the Nico ultimate is pretty nice. Sort of cancels her out. If she doesn't kill you immediately, then you're going to have the burst healing to help out with that. So, and that's pretty good. Macro is pretty on point. Y'all got that last Baron. You managed to get a dragon. You got 2 dragons early when you were super far behind. So, really good work with the timings there. It was risky because you didn't have priority mid or top lane. You didn't really have a lot of vision around there at the time, but it ended up working out. So I thought that you did really well considering, you know, how much of a deficit your team was in early. And, like, maybe lock it as a later item. I mentioned before that you could work towards. It's got the magic resist. You know, you've got a little bit of plus healing and shielding from the Redemption and the Ardent Sensor already, which helps lock it out. You're a higher level at that point. You're level 17. So it would have been some pretty big, nice shields to help counteract like a Nico ult. Then once again, Mikhail's would have been all right too, as long as you're cleansing the bind from Nico fast enough. The plus 20% healing and shielding scales extremely well with Redemption. Most of your healing in general, but remember Redemption gets triple the value out of plus healing and shielding on that active. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, you didn't get isolated and killed off that much. You were at most of the team fights that were reasonable, helping to push side lanes. Yeah, I thought your presence in fights were pretty good. You positioned really well, making sure you didn't get hit by a lot of the CC. Like, I didn't see you getting hit by, like, Callista ults or Nico ults that often in fights, so that was good. You know, try to land more green shots in fights if you can, like the green power chord with your W. I know it's hard to do and there's a lot of stuff going on, but if you can just kind of get in the cadence of just like, you know, making sure that your third hit is always after you've pressed W, because it does add up. You know, reducing the damage of an enemy team member for, you know, 4 seconds or 3 seconds or however long it is for 30% is a really big deal. So, you know, being able to land that green shot on a Shyvana when she ults in is going to, like, help your team out a lot. If the AD carry gets close enough for you to hit her with it, then I think, you know, that'll reduce a lot of damage there. So, you know, try to hit the green shots in fights if you can. Don't try to ult a Nico, like, that seems like she's out in the open because it could be her clone, like what happened that one time. You know, wait until you have a more committed team fight to try to land those ults. But otherwise, very good. I mean, I think that was solid. I think your positioning and fights are really well. Just, like I said, a little bit more aggression early on. Is maybe some different itemization choices, although your choices weren't bad. I mean, Moby boots are pretty good. You know, you ended up getting most of the same items I would recommend, just maybe in a slightly different order, but I think that was good too. Yeah, maybe try to get down a bit more vision. It felt like it was pretty dark around the map, but at the same time, y'all were really far behind. And Sona, it's very difficult to get vision out because she has no way to check bushes. So it's understandable why it's kind of dark out there. But just, you know, do the best you can with the wards, see how many you can get down. But that's going to be it. Thank you very much. Hopefully this helps you out a little bit there. Anyone else that'd like a coaching session, you can email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. Happy to help you out with that. It's just $25 for non-members, $20 for members. You can do it on stream or off stream. Just let me know what you prefer. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. Check out the rest of the content on the channel as well. I just released a tier list for support. I'll probably do AD carry and maybe one other position tomorrow, maybe mid lane or jungle tomorrow. And we have lots of other guides on the channel as well. Topical guides like best one tricks, macro, micro, almost any topic you can think of. We're constantly adding more of those. And we stream every night starting around 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we'd love to have you out. And that's on YouTube, by the way. We've thought about doing Twitch, or at least migrating part of the stream to Twitch for maybe 1 or 2 days a week. But nothing's finalized there. We're just kind of exploring, you know, some options. But right now, it's on YouTube, and I'll let you know if that changes. But that's going to be it. Have a good day. See you next time. Thanks.